Hi, this is John with wesleygospel.com. Um, with all of this attacking of cessationism that I've been doing, um, I'm probably going to do a whole lot more of it in the future. In fact, this might become an undercurrent of my entire channel. Who knows? Um, but we just need to reiterate that um, I believe that soteriology is more important than pneumatology, and unfortunately, in Pentecostalism and charismatic, especially in non-denominational charismatic churches, there's no soteriology there. I mean, the closest thing to soteriology that those people have is like Leaf Heitland in Healing the Orphan Spirit, which is an exaggerated teaching on the witness of the Spirit. And I mean, that's not good enough. You know, that was one of the reasons why I wrote my book. Here comes a shameless plug: Gospel of Jesus Christ, by John Boroff, because I realized that you have people like John MacArthur over there who has the gospel according to Jesus, and his soteriology is, I would have to say, 95% sound doctrine there. He's teaching people to avoid cheap grace and show genuine faith by obeying the Bible, and that's the traditional gospel message of the Reformation, and that's good. I mean, I would consider that to be, anybody who's really serious about their faith needs to, at least read that book once if they could. But here's where I differ from John MacArthur in my gospel presentation, and is that I include the witness of the Holy Spirit, and that's I take that from John Wesley and Romans 8:16, that you have to have experiences of the Holy Spirit, the presence of God, some way, shape, or form, in order for your salvation experience to be real. We're justified by faith alone. Faith, what is it? Well, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. And Romans 8:16 says that the Spirit bears witness that you're a child of God. So I believe that a truly full gospel will have charismatic aspects in it. Not necessarily healing and deliverance, although I question the sincerity of people who have no interest in that. Not necessarily dreams and visions and hearing the voice of God, although I question the sincerity of people who have absolutely no hunger for that. But at the very least, the felt presence of God has to be there. Otherwise, it's teachings and doctrines that you're adhering to, but it is not faith that justifies that you have. So the church is in a tough spot right now. Theologically, experientially, we've got sound doctrine about salvation with people like John MacArthur who are thoroughly anti-charismatic. So it's like sound soteriology on salvation is hanging out with people who have slight, light, or maybe even no experience of the Holy Spirit. And then in the charismatic camp, you've got all these people who are having angel experiences and Holy Spirit experiences, but there's like no soteriology there. So where do you find the middle ground with this? I would say that probably the best middle ground would be my shameless plug of the Gospel of Jesus Christ by John Boroff. And so you can go ahead and read it for free on wesleygospel.com. It's a free ebook. You don't have to buy anything. It's right there. But to point outside of myself, Assemblies of God has a great book called Bible Doctrines by P.C. Nelson, which will have a combination of soteriology and pneumatology in it. So, we're not throwing the soteriology out with the experience of the Holy Spirit. We're getting the whole thing. And of course, I would recommend taking a look at Wesley on Salvation by Kenneth J. Collins and Wesley and Sanctification by Harold Lindstrom. These are all books that are going to have John MacArthur type soteriology, really sound doctrine about salvation and the gospel, while at the same time still holding on to the need for experience of the Holy Spirit. And I think that's where we're at right now in the church. This is where we need to stop making these radical divisions of people's spiritual life. It's like you have to throw the Holy Spirit away in order to get sound doctrine on salvation. That's kind of the situation the church is in right now. And I hate to lay the blame in John MacArthur's feet, but it's hard not to. But I also lay the blame at the feet of the Pentecostals. It seems that Jim Baker and Tammy Faye Baker have lost, caused a really massive damage in the Pentecostal area. But, we get back to Pentecostal doctrine, these problems won't persist anymore in the charismatic area anymore. So God bless you out there. This is John with WesleyGospel.com.